Nashville is the capital of Tennessee, and its current 5th District representative is a self-professed Blue Dog Democrat. That's a name for a centrist or conservative Dem. Manchin is one of them. Well, his name is Jim Cooper, and he's been in the seat since 2003. Before that, he repped Tennessee's 4th District for almost a decade. Now, Cooper has a progressive challenger backed by the Justice Democrats. Her name is Odessa Kelly. Here's a look at some of Kelly's campaign ad.
The city ain't working for all of us. Teachers, nurses, civil servants, working moms and dads, we can't buy a home here. But my faith has taught me that our fates are tied together. We started Stand Up Nashville to bring every voice in the city hall and to push back against billionaire developers. But while we were fighting for us, Congressman Jim Cooper sided with the rich and powerful time and time again. I'm running for Congress because we deserve a representative who fights as hard as we do for our families and for this city.
If elected, she would be the first African-American woman to represent the state of Tennessee. Welcome to community organizer Odessa Kelly, candidate for Tennessee's 5th Congressional District. Welcome to Amplified. So for those who have never been to your home state, describe East Nashville to us. I suspect that it'll resonate with Black and brown viewers all over the country who live in similar places. And tell us also a little bit about you too.
Sure. First, thank you for having me on, and good evening to everyone who's watching. Yeah, I'm a native, which is a rare thing. Nashville's become a very transient town. I was born in East Nashville, you know. I was born in the hood, and you wouldn't recognize it today. The version of East Nashville that I grew up in has been gentrified right out of the urban core of the city, just like the majority of other Black communities here. Went to Tennessee State University, which is an HBCU here. And after that, I worked nearly 14 years as a civil servant for our Metro Parks department. I was on the front line of poverty every day. You know, me as an employee, I'm living check to check, even though I got a master's degree. And this is the same job that my father had for 44 years, yet I'm struggling, you know, to make it. I can't even buy a home, you know, in the neighborhood I grew up in. And on top of that, I'm watching the school to prison pipeline. I'm watching people coming to our community center with uniforms on in between jobs just to get a food box, you know, to stretch their money just a little further. I knew then it was going to take a bunch of structural changes for us to get some of the changes that we needed. And that's what pushed me into doing the activism. And we got a lot of good things done. But last year during the pandemic, one of the things that became evident is that we can't get the major changes that we need unless we actually have people who have a shared experience of what we've gone through our whole lives sitting in the seats where we can actually get some change done.
We were just talking about Black home ownership and undervaluation and the difficulty that many Black people have securing a home, which you're talking about here. I'm curious, you know, like you said, a lot of people can't buy houses in Nashville, and I'm curious on your take about what's going on there and how you hope to remedy it.
Sis, I'm right there with you. When you said that, what was it? Equity is a stimulus. You know, that's what I do on my day job. I'm the executive director of Stand Up Nashville. We do social and racial justice work through an economic lens. So I'm gonna be right there beside you if we both take this class at American University. Things are hard here. You know, it's just like any other in any other urban city around the country. It's the exact same story. You know, it's everything that he was saying. Housing is a huge issue here. People who are city employees, our teachers, our social workers, people who pick up our trash, just everyday normal 9-to-5 individuals are struggling to live in the city.
You know, gentrification is real everywhere. It's so interesting because I talk about my little town in New York. We're talking about, you know, Nashville. You can talk about Prince George's County, Maryland. All of this is just anywhere USA. The same exact policy issues are happening all across the country, which is why it matters that Congress acts and does something, anything to address what we're all feeling, because the pain is the same no matter where you live. Like so many other places, Tennessee is looking at Redistricting, also big issue. Your state Senate could vote as early as tomorrow on your new maps. And I understand that state GOP leaders want to continue to divide Davidson County, where Nashville is actually located, into 3 different maps. So according to the Tennessean, black residents make up 24.3% of the current 5th congressional district, but with the redrawing, the 5th would then fall to 11.9% black, and meanwhile, North Nashville would be part of the new 7th district, and black residents would make up 16% of the district. So I would love for you to weigh in on this. How is your run going to be impacted by these maps? And then secondly, has the fight on the ground, been, raging regarding redistricting there?
Yes, yes to everything you just said. Nashville has been represented by one congressperson and a strong Democratic progressive stronghold for over 200 years. Them cracking Nashville into 3 districts, it has a major impact. We're talking about going from having several Democratic people representing the Democratic Party and people across the state of Tennessee to just having one. That's the impact that it's having. And as far as raging, yes, I think I'm glad that you mentioned not only is Cooper the current representative, but explaining what a blue dog is, because that's part of the problem that we're seeing right now, right? It is more than urgent. I mean, it's beyond urgent, if they can make a vote right now that would give us any type of leverage, to push back against this. Otherwise, we're talking about 10 years. 10 years of having to abide under this racist power grab that's happening by our state legislatures. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running, because far too often we have a lot of individuals like Jim Cooper who can skew the lines. He can play on both sides. He can try to appease black voters by being nice and showing up when actually the majority of his politics align with Republicans. This is what we're seeing playing out now with Sinema and Manchin.
And I'm so glad that you referenced that this seat has been a Democratic stronghold for 200 years, because at the end of the day, I want people to always be reminded that the Democrats of today were not the Democrats of yesteryear. And it was up until the 60s that those Democrats who held your seat and others were all Dixiecrats and segregationists, which is why we talk so much about the Southern racist roots of a Joe Manchin, who also Dixiecrat kind of, seat, as well as Jim Cooper that you're talking about. You are running with the support of the Justice Democrats. I think I might have mentioned that in the lead into this. As a progressive candidate, the Justice Democrats are known for running progressives against incumbents who are extremely moderate and not necessarily reflective of the Democratic Party of today. In the minute that we have left, I want you to speak on that and about the change that you're trying to bring to this district.
Sure, absolutely. I think it goes back to everything that the gentleman was speaking to before this segment. I think I'm proud to be a Justice Democrat. We run on the things that absolutely represent the urgencies that our people actually have. A lot of the business practices and structures that we have, Democratic or Republican, are oppressive to people, especially the African American community. And as a Justice Democrat, we run to make sure that we eradicate that.
Well, we will be following all the things that are going on in Nashville to see if there's some change that's going to come. There are a dwindling number of blue dog Democrats in Congress, and yet so much of the last year of Joe Biden trying to move policy, be it Build Back Better or be it the Justice for George Floyd, Justice and Policing Act, or, obviously voting rights that are stalled on Capitol Hill, continue to be held up by these so-called blue dog moderate types. So y'all, I think the moral of the story here is I want everybody to be reminded that the South is changing, and there are candidates running who are trying to make that change. Odessa Kelly, candidate for Congress in Tennessee, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story here on Amplified. Appreciate you.